Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, guys. Today's court hearing is absolutely off the rails. We've got someone who claims to be Matthew Aldridge, at least according to the official paperwork. But the man standing at the podium, he's pulling the classic sovereign citizen move, insisting he doesn't have a name and referring to himself as the attorney in fact, which, just to be clear, isn't even a real legal status. These sovereign citizen types always try to argue that the court has no jurisdiction over them, but that's not how it works. If you're standing in a courtroom, they have authority over you, plain and simple. The judge, to no one's surprise, isn't having it. She shuts him down hard, and the way she does it? Absolutely legendary. She totally outsmarts him by the end of it. Let's dive into this wild exchange.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
Name, I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't we court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Apparently there's a copy here.
I mean, it's one thing to claim you're an attorney in fact, but this guy actually tried to back it up by handing the judge a random piece of paper. Now, you guys didn't get to see it, it was during one of the slower parts, but the paper basically quoted some completely made-up law that supposedly gives him the right to represent the person Matthew Aldridge. For those wondering, real attorneys have to be licensed by the state and follow actual legal procedures. This DIY, one sheet of paper legal fantasy stuff? That's not how any of this works. Sovereign citizens like this guy love to rant about jurisdiction, as if declaring themselves above the law magically exempts them from legal consequences. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Courts operate based on real, well-established laws, not imaginary ones pulled off a conspiracy forum. And props to the judge here, she wasn't having any of it. She shut him down without breaking a sweat. Honestly, is this sovereign citizen trend becoming more common, or am I just cursed to keep finding these bizarre cases? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neil Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neil Aldridge. If you are in fact Matthew Neil Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Question. Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be an Article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
This judge is handling this lunatic like an absolute pro. He's calm, composed, and shutting the guy down at every turn. The sovereign citizen barely got a word in before the judge dismantled his attorney of fact nonsense piece by piece. It honestly felt like the judge had seen this kind of thing one too many times, maybe even took it personally. Especially when the guy started quoting his made-up laws. I mean, come on. And that moment when the judge said the man can't even utter his own name? That was gold. Judges usually stay pretty stoic, but that little jab was hilarious. From the moment this guy opened his mouth, it was clear the judge wasn't going to waste a second on this circus. And honestly, it just goes to show how pointless and ridiculous these sovereign citizen stunts really are.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are truly something else. These are people who genuinely believe they can opt out of the legal system just by saying they don't recognize the government's authority. They'll throw around terms like common law or quote the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, without actually understanding what any of it means. Just to set the record straight, courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have been in place for centuries and are backed by the Constitution. There's no magical loophole where you can just declare yourself immune to the law. Yet these folks show up in court, waste everyone's time with nonsense arguments, and all they walk away with is a criminal record and maybe some extra fines. The whole sovereign citizen defense crumbles under one key concept: jurisdiction. Courts have it over anyone within their geographic area, no matter what pseudo-legal gibberish you throw at them. And here's the kicker: trying to dodge taxes or get out of a speeding ticket with these tactics doesn't just fail. It can actually make things worse by adding extra penalties for wasting the court's time. Honestly, I don't know if these people think they're outsmarting the system, or if it's just some weird form of rebellion. Either way, it's ridiculous, and honestly, kind of sad. They're not fighting the system. They're just embarrassing themselves. Anyway, that's going to wrap up today's breakdown. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think about this whole sovereign citizen movement. Thanks for watching, and take care.